What's up, y'all? This is Brave, and I'm back with another review of The Never Ever Met. This is Season 2, Episode 11, aka The Reunion. Let's go ahead and talk about it because, let's be honest, there's not even much to talk about. First of all, Taronda, I'm going to need for you to actually, watch the episodes before you host the reunion. Girl, I feel like you had nothing to add to the conversation. And the few things that you did kind of chime in on were things that were kind of more viral. You know what I mean? Viral situations that happened that people were talking about on the internet. But girl, you could have done better. As far as everybody's outfits, some of the guys, they cleaned up nice. You know what I mean? But honestly, how hard is it for a man to wear a suit? As far as the ladies go, some people definitely could have used a lot of work. I think out of all the ladies, I think Jay may have looked the best, her and Tati. The only thing I didn't like about Jay was her hair. I feel like it could have been done a different way. But it also could have been a situation where her hair had some waves or curls. And because it takes a long time for you to actually film the show, because please know, when you're doing a reunion show or any type of show, you may have a call time that could be 10 a.m. However, y'all don't actually make it to stage until 3 p.m. That's just how it works in production. But besides that, yeah, she looked good. Alicia, baby, what in the Fantasia Candy Burris 2005 rooster haircut was on top of your head? Girl, you are too young for that. Why did you go get your mama wig? I'm so confused. But y'all, you know what? Let's go ahead and get right into the actual review. Y'all, we start this off with Alicia and Irvin. Baby, Irvin still feels some type of way about Alicia. Okay? And when it came to this Irvin and Alicia situation, I just feel like there were so many things that led up to the point of him kind of giving her his ass to kiss. I'm just so we're just going to skip over all the other things. We're going to skip over all the times that she did not want him to be near her. He couldn't touch her. He couldn't look at her. We just going to skip right on over that. Okay, cool. So, here's the thing that stood out to me. When it came to Irvin, basically at one point he said that, he wanted her to make him happy. And everybody's like, well, that's not her job. She's not just supposed to make you happy. Hold on, y'all. I think y'all putting too much dip on the chip. I think what he meant by that was, when I got into the house with this girl, I've been miserable. Okay? We ain't got no happy moments. And if we supposed to be a couple, we should be happy. Ain't nobody getting into a relationship with somebody just to be miserable and upset every day. Be so serious. So, when it comes to Irvin, him having his ex-girlfriend back, I don't care. I really don't. As far as Alicia saying, oh, he made me feel uncomfortable, she does admit that that was the wrong term to use. However, what was crazy to me in that scene was the fact that, number one, we started in the middle, okay? We need to go back all the way to episode 1 when those two people first met and she did not want that man to touch her and all they were doing was dancing, okay? Anytime they had any type of any activity, she did not want that man to touch her, be near her, any of the things, right? So there has been multiple things that have led up to him getting fed up with her ass. That's number one. Number two, when we got all the way to the you're making me uncomfortable and unsafe, when we got there, y'all, that man, he got up with the quickness and left out the room, and she told him to come back. How in the hell do we get all the way to this reunion and Taronda is like, well, did you actually feel unsafe or were you just nervous? And then for this girl to say, yeah, I misspoke, I shouldn't have told him to come back. Wait a second. So you mean to tell me that you actually did feel unsafe? I'm confused. I'm confusion because I thought it was that you were nervous about the conversation that was about to be had. Because let's not forget, this conversation was the aftermath of her going to go work out with another man in this house. And he asked her if they could do yoga together or some type of meditation or something. And she went and did it with another man. She did not want to be held accountable. Like, that girl was ducking and dodging that. That is why she said, oh, I feel unsafe. Like, are we all okay right now? Are we all not watching the same episodes? Was there an episode that I missed? I'm trying to understand. Now, moving on from them, because I feel like that was pretty much the end all be all of their, situation. We gonna slide on over to Tatiana and Clay. Y'all, again, we started in the fucking middle. I'm so confused as to why we did not start out with the love bombing. How in the hell we want to talk about this best friend shit? Fuck that. We need to start at the fact that man, number one, he was touching her inappropriately multiple times where she said that she felt uncomfortable. Okay? And my issue with Tatiana is that she never spoke up in the moment, but we watched the episodes and she said that she felt uncomfortable. Why did we not address that? Because y'all so big on boundaries. That's the first thing. Secondly, that man love bombed her every day, all day, and he was on bullshit. Why are we not holding him accountable for that? Y'all want to sit up here and bring up this fucking best friend? I don't care about that shit. Dude, you hit a whole child. You already had 2 people on the show that they revealed that they got kids too. Why did you hold on to that so long? Like, why did you wait till after you slept with this woman to then finally tell her that you got a kid? But the only reason why you told her this was because everything had blew up in your fucking face, and you already knew that once she got into it with this other girl, there was no coming back for your ass. Like, are we all not watching the same damn show? I'm confused. And what was so crazy to me is that everybody at this point, they have to rewatch this clip, and I don't know why they said that it was never before seen it, because we saw it. That hug. I've already said before, I think that girl is just tall as hell. She didn't know where to put her fucking leg, because when she jumped up to, hug that man, he was supposed to hold her a certain way. I don't think he, had that good of a balance. But here's my thing. Y'all want to sit up here and talk about, oh yeah, she wrapped her legs around him and all of this stuff. No, let's talk about all the time that she was hugging on him and grabbing on him after that. Like, that's the part that got me. That girl was hanging onto his arm, clinging on him, skipping around him, all the bullshit after that little weak ass hug. Like, I don't even understand what we talking about. Then another thing that was crazy to me, Chris chimed in. He's like, you can't just do Tatiana any kind of way because, she's a gentle type of woman. She's a woman that needs this, that, another. I said, now hold up, swole up. I don't like the way you're wording that. I don't like the way you're phrasing that, because the way you're making it sound is because Tatiana is so gentle, you need to treat her a certain way. Well, nigga, when you was with Alexis, because you deem her as aggressive, is that why you treated her the way you treated her? Because everything that Alexis did was wrong to you. Like, again, we need to be calling people out on their shit. That's the whole point of a reunion show. So then they get into this conversation of if Tatiana and Clay are, dating around or whatever. Tatiana says she got a roster, baby. Chris says that he's on the roster. I said, oh, okay, plot twist. Maybe there were some other things going on in that house. And Clay, he says that, he has a girlfriend. Out of nowhere, here comes Tatiana. Oh, you didn't tell me that yesterday. And now it becomes this all like, ooh, what did he tell you yesterday? Child, I don't give a fuck if Clay got a girlfriend or not. I don't care if he back with his best friend. None of that matters to me. And I'm just like, Tatiana, I get what you was trying to do. Like, put him on Front Street because he's continuously being a liar. But girl, you shouldn't even care about anything Clay Vassier has going on in his life. Because, baby, you should be so far removed from him and that bullshit. Baby. I would not pay him dust. You hear me? That was pretty much their situation. I feel like it really wasn't much to it. Like I said, there is not really a lot going on with this reunion. All right, next couple we got is Ty and Brittany. Y'all, again, we are talking to people who did not like their partners at all. According to Brittany, Ty kept crossing her boundaries. She says that she had already told him prior to them even coming to the show that she don't want him to kiss her. She not trying to get touchy-feely with this man. None of those things, right? And I'm just like, okay, so I'm just trying to understand how you wanted to operate in this space. Like, were y'all just all supposed to act like y'all were platonic friends? Because my whole thing is, the way some of the people on this show are acting, and I get it, you don't know this person, right? Y'all only been talking for a few months. But when you are in a situation where y'all are in a house all day long, y'all ain't going nowhere, y'all ain't doing shit, only thing you can do is get closer to the person that you was supposed to be rocking with. So, like, the fact that y'all wouldn't even sit next to people, the fact that some of y'all wouldn't let these people breathe the same air as y'all didn't want to hold hands, they couldn't even get a peck on the lips, hell, some of y'all couldn't even get a hug, okay? What the hell was y'all expectation coming into this? Like, it's giving weird. Like, I'm sorry, I understand this idea of, hey, I don't really know this person. I'm not comfortable with them. That makes sense. It does. But at the same time, can we be so for real? Half of y'all did not like these men. Y'all did not like them. Y'all like the attention that you got from talking to them online. You like the attention of them calling you, texting you, sending you little lovey-dovey messages. You like that shit. But y'all did not like these men to begin with. It was just something for you to do. Something to keep your mind occupied off whatever else you got going on in your fucking life. Because let's not forget that everybody was like, well, this is a vacation. This is a vacation. No, it was not. It was not a damn vacation. It was so y'all can actually see if you really want to date this person. That's why I keep saying that this show needs to be completely restructured. It really does. But y'all, we got to get back to Brittany and Ty. So here's the thing about Ty. He wants a type of relationship to where if I'm doing things for you, you can do things for me as well, right? Which is understandable. A relationship should be give and take. Y'all, why is she gonna throw out the fact that, I did stuff for Ty. I ironed his clothes and I rubbed his shoulders. I gave him a massage. I'm like, Brittany, I know you did not say those two things. Of all the things you could have said, and I'm with Ty. Girl, I can iron my own clothes. What are you talking about? Like, you literally wanted that man to jump whenever you said to jump. But then at the same time, he out here cooking your favorite meals and doing all the things. And you would barely even give that man a look his way. Okay? So, she then goes on to be like, he knew that I didn't want to kiss him. And my whole thing is this. I get it. He may have just went on ahead for the first kiss that y'all had. He may have just went in for the kiss and did not ask, hey, can I kiss you? Right? But here's my thing. I'm sorry, but this whole, may I kiss you? Can I kiss you? That question, that's kind of like a newer thing that people are doing. That's a very new thing that people are doing. This is not me making excuses for Ty. But I'm just being realistic. For most people, especially at the big age that he is, when it comes to you kissing somebody, usually you feel it in the moment and you go for it, okay? Now, when it comes to Brittany and Ty, I honestly feel like they never had a moment to even go for it because, again, she didn't want to be touched. But, nonetheless, here's the thing. You have Taronda chiming in and she's like, we're all about boundaries over here. You need to respect the boundaries. And I'm like, okay, fine. If that's what we want to do, for sure. But you really thought that you were going to come onto a show where you were supposed to be meeting with a guy that you supposedly have a relationship with, and y'all gonna be in his house for 3 weeks, and you was never gonna touch him, never gonna kiss him, never gonna hug him? That sounds crazy to me. Like that, I'm sorry, but that really does sound crazy. So then Brittany, she brings up the fact that at some point, he smacked her on the ass, and she's like, yo, he hit me so hard that my teeth clicked together. I said, what the fuck does that even mean? I'm sorry, I ain't never heard nobody say that. But he's like, oh, wait, you mean the time that I grabbed your ass and you said that you liked it? I said, oh, no, hold on. Brittany, were you trying to get one perception for TV, but when the cameras were down, you was giving some other type of energy? What was that all about? Now, of course, she denies it. And Taronda basically tells Todd he needs to back up off of Brittany if this is how, she feels and these are her boundaries. My whole thing is, at this big age, Brittany could have spoken up. Brittany got mouth for everything else around that house. Why you didn't speak up to him and be like, hey, don't touch me. Hey, you doing too much. You know what I'm saying? But we got to be honest. Brittany did not want that man to breathe the same air that she was breathing. Like, are we not watching the same show? She did not like that man. Like, honestly, I feel like there could have been more things said in this situation. But again, Taronda is not a good host. We're going to go ahead and move on. Okay, so actually they bring up Brittany and Jay, right? Because clearly there's some type of issues going on with the ladies. Now, according to Jay, Brittany had a thing for Cinco since the beginning, okay? And she says that, Brittany, she did a lot of drinking. And when she did that, she got real touchy-feely on other men in the house. And what got me was that after she said this, Jay said, tell me I'm lying. AKA, I'm calling your bluff if you try to pretend like that's not what happened. And y'all, why did Brittany say, she's so worried about Cinco? Poor Tink Tink. I said, what the fuck are you talking about, Brittany? That's her man. That's her nigga. The only person that she should be worried about is Cinco. But that's the crazy part. For some reason, I don't know if you missed the memo, Brittany. The only man that you were supposed to be worried about was Ty. Like, I get it, you was trying to call her out, but baby, that wasn't the way to do it. Like, that sounded crazy to me, her saying, she's just worried about Cinco. Yeah, that's her man. And it's giving weirdo vibes that you over here trying to get all touchy-feely with him. Then, Brittany, she's like, we didn't get along because Jay was rude. Ever since the first day, she didn't speak to us. I said, okay, here's my thing. I feel like production played a part in that. And here's why I'm saying this. I feel like I don't understand why production has Cinco meet up with the ladies first. That was weird. I don't know if Jay's flight may have gotten, messed up or something, but it made no sense that Cinco had to be in the room with the ladies meeting for the first time. That's the first thing. Secondly, Jay ain't here for y'all. Jay is here for her man. She's the only one who understood the plot. The rest of y'all lost it. Honestly, to me, it's giving these people just have personalities that clash. And it is what it is. Moving on from there, y'all, we get this never before seen clip of them playing a game. And basically we learned that Alexis, she likes to watch gay porn. All right, good for her. I'm like, of all the clips that we get, that's what we got? I guess. So now they decide to play this game. Who's the peacemaker? Cinco. If you could switch partners, who would it be with? Jared put Alicia. But here's the kicker. He said he would choose Alicia so that way he can gaslight her back. When I tell you that shit took me out, I said, damn, Jared. Jared is such a fucking asshole. He really is. But besides that, Chris and Tatiana put each other. Oh, please know that Clavasia, he's peeping game. At this point, I feel like some shit must have happened in that house. And now he trying to put two and two together to see if Chris and Tatiana was talking on the low while they were in that house. Okay? Kiki, she chose Chris. Brandon chose Charlie. I said, Charlie? Really? I guess. Alexis and Charlie, they both choose Brandon, right? Who was hitting on someone else after they left, right? Brandon and Charlie, y'all. That's what we see. So then Clay, out of nowhere, he's like, yeah, so Chris, you want Tatiana? Like, what's going on with that? Like, sir, scoot back in your chair. Like, please know that Tatiana can do whatever she wants. Christopher can do whatever he wants. You fumbled. You messed up. Nobody cares if you're upset up there. Nobody cares. Then Alexis, she's like, I feel like they already talking. I said, oh, baby, it's very clear that Alexis and Chris are not together, okay? Moving on from there, we get to the Elite 8. I don't know who came up with that name, but there's nothing elite about any of these people. Let's be so for real. We learned that Cinco, he has to get up out of there. And he has to go to like a basketball tryout thing because he's trying to get a contract in Asia. Hopefully he got one. Shout out to him. So basically we learned that Jay and Cinco, they are still together. He's been coming back and forth to Chicago. And things are on the up and up for them. What pissed me off was Taronda asking him if he was going to marry Jay. It hasn't even been a year, bitch. Scoot back. Like, what are you talking about? Again, why is Taronda here? She's a horrible host. Horrible. Good God. Moving on from there, like I said, he dipped out. We got to move on to the next couple, which is Alexis and Chris. Basically, he says that he was not going to sleep with her because he did not want to feel like he was just a piece of meat. So then, Taronda asked him, okay, you saying that, but you sent like an eggplant picture. So which one is it? And he says that he sent the picture because he was just trying to show the fact that he ain't lacking nowhere. I said, okay, Christopher. All right. See what you're doing here. Here's the thing. The question was, have they been intimate? She says no. However, he's like, what are you talking about? Yeah, we did. Girl, come to find out, these two got a little frisky at some point because Jared saw, as well as Kiki saw, them doing some things, okay? Now, to me, it sounded like, just to me, it sounded like Alexis was doing something to Chris. Not that it was reciprocated. Like, am I the only one who feel that way? Because Jared said that her glasses was like twisted up, right? And then Kiki said that, she saw them in like a compromising position. I don't know. Like, something is telling me that she went down on him. He didn't do the return. And that's why she like, nope, it never happened. Like, it may have happened for him, but I'm not sure if it was reciprocated, okay? Nonetheless, besides that, when it came down to them leaving the house, right? Alexis says that she had to decompress, and then she started thinking things over and about how, he kept playing mind games with her. And she's like, he kept saying I was controlling when really I wasn't. I have to agree. That man, he kept saying that she was controlling, yet he was trying to control her and how she act and how she talked to him and all those things. So it's kind of like, yeah, I'm glad that you chose yourself, sis. And basically she's like, it kind of just fizzled out. Like, it sounded like they just lost contact, honestly. And I do appreciate the fact that she's like, he has traumas that he needs to go deal with. Yes, please say that. Because he over here walking around acting like he good. And everything's good with him, and she was always the problem. Keep in mind, he the one who over here talking about how everybody tried to control him. His mama, his daddy, all these people. It's like, dude, that was you coming in with the issues. Also, I'm still giving a side eye to the fact that that man said he had his own apartment at the age of 9. Whose apartment was you living in, sir? Because, like, a 9-year-old with an apartment? Be so for real. Like, I can understand it. Was it 9 years old? Or was it 15 or something? No, I don't think he was a teenager. It was some young-ass number. I'm just like, now, who gave you an apartment? What the hell going on here? Were you in an abandoned apartment? You know what? We're going to leave that where it's at. That's his trauma, not mine. Okay? Now, y'all, out of nowhere, here comes Clavasier. He still want to bark down this goddamn tree about Chris and Tatiana. Dude, she has moved on. You should move on. Why are you so worried about them? This ain't even y'all segment. Go away. Please. Moving on from there, we get to Kiki and Brandon. So he admits that, he may have overreacted to the drinking. And here's the thing. Even Jay says, like, listen, you came at her about her drinking when your waffle buddy was drinking more than Kiki. I said, who the fuck is the waffle buddy? Oh, right, Charlie. Charlie is the waffle buddy. And he feels like, he wasn't with her at the time. Pause. I see where he going with that. Because if I'm only supposed to be focused on Kiki, I don't give a fuck what anybody else is doing in this house, right? However, we're going to press play now. What you mean at the time? Nigga, is you talking to Charlie? I know you're not talking to Charlie. I know it. Y'all. Number one, his type seemed to be all over the place. That's number one. Number two, you really are willing to take on Charlie and all them kids? That's a lot. Because we're going to get to her delusional ass in a minute. But Brandon, please find you somebody who is young, who doesn't drink a lot, because it's giving that Charlie drinks a lot. And I just feel like you can do better. I mean, for what we've seen, you can do better, okay? Now, moving on from there. Now, Jay does end up chiming in, and she questions, like, have y'all, like, never talked about her and alcohol? And he's like, people can hide stuff for 4 years. And I'm like, okay, I do understand where he's coming from. If I am only talking to you on the phone or FaceTiming you or whatever, you can absolutely hide the fact that you are drinking if you drink it all the time. Because think about it. I'm only talking to you for a certain amount of time. You can absolutely be getting drunk over there. I don't know. Like, y'all not seeing each other face to face every day. Here's the thing. Then they end up asking, had she told you about the ex situation, would y'all have still been able to work it out? He says no. Because that was one of his deal breakers. And here's my thing. Kiki is crazy. Kiki is delusional. Because what threw me completely off is the fact that Kiki gonna say, well, you're my best friend. And baby, I'm with Alexis. What is you talking about all this best friend shit? How is this man your best friend when you can't even tell him the truth? Like, you are literally living with your ex. You played in his face for 4 years. He tried to come see you 4 times. And you flaked every single time. If anything, the person who's your best friend, you should be treating them the best way possible. I said, you know what? I just can't. We're going to move on. We got to get to Jared and Charlie. They get on my nerves. She feels like he wasn't honest in the beginning. Girl, and neither were you. Like, what the fuck? What are you talking about? And here's my thing. Did he have a lie and a secret that he was keeping from you? Absolutely. But girl, so did you. And here's the thing, sis. Your lie was a lot bigger than his, okay? Now, according to him, he feels like he did try with Charlie. And she's like, when? I don't remember you trying with me. And he's like, listen, when we played that game and I said no, that was literally like the day after you dropped a bomb on me. And she's like, well, you dropped a bomb on me too. He's like, yeah, but yours was bigger. And he not lying. Like, girl, you literally dropped 3 kids out the sky and said, yep, I got 3 kids. And I'm just like, that is heavy. That's a lot for somebody to have to rethink their life. Do I really want to date someone who, as a teenager, I already knew about them, but this person has 3 other children who are all fairly young? You know what I'm saying? So, at that point, she's like, well, is it the amount of kids that I have? Or is it the fact that, I lied? And he's like, girl, it's both. Okay? So then, this is where she tried to flip it on him, and I was pissed off. She's like, you're acting like my kids are a burden. Girl, to you, they're not a burden. But let's call a thing a thing. Yes, they are. You do think that your children are a burden, because if you did not feel that way, you would have told this man that you have 4 children. You would have told him this, and they're not a burden. And also at the same time, your kids may not be a burden to you, but they can absolutely be a burden to him. And the reason why I'm saying that is because that man already got his own 2 kids, okay? That's the first thing. Secondly, his kids are not even with him 24/7. Your kids are, which means that if y'all move in together, those 4 kids then become his responsibility. I don't know what the fuck Charlie is talking about when she's like, I make good money. I don't need a man to raise my kids. I don't need anybody to take care of my kids. I do that on my own. Sis, you can absolutely do all the things. But if you are planning to have a life with this man, at some point, he's going to be very hands-on and involved with your kids. Or at least that's what the fuck you should want. You should want to be able to date a man who you can for sure know is responsible, respectful, and you can trust him around your fucking kids. And the fact that you are sitting up here saying how I don't need him to raise my kids, girl, you acting like you and him gonna run off, in the sunset while the kids are at the house. What are you talking about? I don't understand. Girl, I just feel like, Charlie, you need to go get into some serious therapy, first of all. Secondly, I need you to have a real conversation with yourself, because something's not clicking upstairs. Girl, were you in the slow classes? I don't understand. Especially when she was like, I've never had to ask a man to take care of my kids. They have dads for that. Well, my question is, where the fuck the daddies at? Because I know the last one dipped out on your ass. So, where they at? I'm just curious. I don't know. I just think it's so wild, some of the things that she says. Especially if you are planning to marry somebody, because she talks about Jared as if he's the greatest guy ever, and she would totally marry him. You're planning on marrying this man, but at the same time, you're not thinking about how this dynamic could change in your household with your children? What the hell is wrong with you? So then they keep talking, and we learn that, this situation will never work. Jared, he felt like he could possibly get Charlie to move down to his area because he thought, again, she only had 1 child. And according to Charlie, that child can't move out of state because probably her father is involved in her life and they have split custody. Same thing with Jared. His baby mamas, they're not leaving the city that they're in. So yeah, this whole situation would never work. I'm like, oh my God. So then you have Charlie again saying, well, you shouldn't have been intimate with me. You should have done all those nice things for me. And his response was I not supposed to do that? I'm supposed to be treating you like a queen, right? Oh my, I'm just like, Charlie, why are we even still doing this? We really don't need to do this any further. This relationship is not going to come back. It's over. So after that, the question is, does Charlie still, like Jared? And it's very clear that she does. But she's like, he just gave me a lot of mixed signals, and he was playing games because he kept calling me his best friend and his soulmate. And Jared is like, well, you're a soul that I really want to stay in my life. Boy, bye. At this point, I feel like Alexis was fed the fuck up because Taronda was not doing her fucking job. So Alexis is like, why do you even need all of this? As in, why? There's no closure that's necessary. Like, what is it about him that you are still holding on to? Like, are you still trying to keep some hope that y'all can get back together and this will work out? What is the problem? Because he is clearly giving you an indication that there is nothing more to this goddamn situation. Y'all, when that man said, at this point, we're kind of operating from a space of like, it was nice knowing you. Again, Charlie's kind of in her feelings. And she's like, well, I'm going to get the tattoo removed. Bitch, you should have had that shit removed so long ago. After you went home, you should have had that appointment ready. We're getting this shit off of my body. Like, are we serious right now? I just can't. Y'all, that was the Never Ever Mets, okay? This season was a hot mess. I think the show needs a new host and restructuring. But y'all, that's all I got. Let me know what y'all thought about it. Go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, and I will talk to y'all in my next review. Bye, guys.